The chosen one. Your mission is political. You must lead the government. You must lead the government under the God command. This is the very moment spiritual recognize signature your destiny. Aligning this word reaches your spiritual. Heaven's schedule encounter before you were born. The very moment press play, the spirituals recognized signature destiny, align the word reach your spirituals. No stumble upon the message you were. Some more the decree you are moment when God interrupt human timeline to deliver the divine instructions. One of them, you stand on the edge. Revelations will awaken the ruler. You will awaken the ruler within the messages that come from the throne itself. The heaven wants to remind you that your mission was never spiritual alone. It was governmental. It's government. You were not called to pray for the sideline, but to legislate from the center of influence, the throne, the altar, the never meant to separate. Today, spiritual will restored, understanding divine power. Decree has been released. The separation between spiritual authority, political leadership has ended the edges. Divided calling is over. Heaven is the summoned hidden ruler. Carry both heart of the priest, the might of the king, chosen one, not only intercessor, but the architect of nations. God is raising to lead. God is raising you to lead under the command. Bring the alignment between heaven law and earthly system. The time has come when revelations must become the governments. You will be no longer confined to the temple. When you were designed for the palace, stay with me until the end. These revelations carry you next divine instructions. And once you receive, nothing about how you see the authority, holiness, and power will remain the same. Before we proceed, I want you to perform act of spiritual agreement. This commence right now. The faith will rule under the God. It's not the engagement, prophet declarations when you write it is heaven. Break your agreement. Mark your spiritual as aligned with the divine government. Like this, as the routine, as the prophet act of the alignment, join the council. Rule through righteous, because as you stay connected, stay aligned heaven from the vibrations. Now prepare yourself. What you are about here is not a teaching. It is activation. The words awaken in the consciousness and rulership under a divine command. If this word stirs something deep within you, because heavenly calling you higher rule, the lead, bring divine order wherever you go. The manual of God chosen warrior is your next step. 10-step guide help you walk into the prosperity, wisdom, spiritual authority. The link is description. First, pen it and command. Take it today. Begin walking as the ruler God design. In the beginning of Chosen One, there was no distance between throne and altar. Humanity walked under the divine. The government's every decision flowed from the wisdom of the heaven. But when man sought the rule apart from the God, the government became the corrupt. The moment power separated from holiness, authority became the oppressions, and the leadership lost its purity. What you see today in nation, ego, leader without a conscience, system decaying, are the fruits of the divisions. The enemy convinced the world faith should remain private, that the politics belong to the man. But heaven never withdraw the interest from the government, simply wait for the restoration. This is those who would once again carry both priestly purity and kingly wisdom. You among of them spiritual awakening with your remembrance of divine governments, a pattern as the ancient. As Eden from the beginning, God always ruled to the men and women, be with his spirituals. And the Joseph government Egypt, it was not of the politician, it was a prophet, waiting to see authority when Daniel advised king. He did not speak from the intellect alone. It's from revelation David ring. From the altar, decree from the throne. This was heaven blueprint. Spiritual, political, one of the river flowing the same source. The modern world forgot the truth, but now heaven restored, and the return of the leaders who govern the righteousness, strategies, and the fear of the Lord. You are not called to those choose between prayer and the policy. You are called to embody both the system. The world claimed the neutrality, but no system neutral every government, every policy, every institution serve one kingdom, either light or darkness. When the righteous withdraw, unrighteous legislate. When the prophet stays silent, the corruption become law. This is what God calling his chosen one to rise, not to preach from the pulpit alone, to shape the system, reform the structures, and establish justice where deception and rule the world does not need more. The voice of the complaint need to ruler who carry the spiritual truth. You have been hidden because heaven was forming ruler who cannot be bribed, broken, or deceived. You are being prepared, carry both anointing of the author and the strategies of the throne. Understand this chosen one divine government does not operate through the elections. It operates through the anointing. The God appointed before the man and acknowledges when they decide to elevate ruler. No earthly vote can opposite. That's why David was king long before the Israel accept him. The oil upon your life, not a symbolic, it's jurisdiction. It's grant your spiritual authority over the atmosphere, community, eventually territory. You are being trained and influenced along. You are being prepared for the dominant the world majors leadership. Popularity, heaven majors try obedience. When you yield fully divine direction, power is inevitable. The time divine appointment has come again. So you are the one of lost heaven has marked for leadership. Look around and you will see how every earthly institutions trembling, economic rise and collapse in the cycle. Justice, trade, convenience, truth, are manipulated by those. Fear is light. The value government is not merely political. It's spiritual. When the nation rejects the counsel of God, it becomes vulnerable to confusion and decay. So this is why you are being awakening. God is not merely blessing individual. It's established reformer your calling, and not to escape the system, but to redeem. You carry within the very antidote to the corruption power, spiritual of righteousness. And when you walk into the room, the heaven enter with you, chosen one. Your law is not to echo religions, but to represent divine government. You are heaven ambassador carrying the constitutions of the kingdom. You are not defined by the denomination of the ideologies. You represent the government of the God and authority on your life. It's not symbolic, it's legal. In the spiritual, you have the right. Legislate with your words. Establish justice through the decree and to realign the system and through the divine wisdom. Every time you pray, something shift. Every time you pray, something shift, unseen, and counsel every time. You act in obedience, policy, heaven, enact on earth. You are not a mere belief, you are the sent one, embodied of divine order, clothed in the human form. For this spiritual wisdom rests upon you, the same spiritual that gave Joseph economic insight, Daniel diplomatic influence being poured out again upon a God-chosen ruler. You will discern pattern and others cannot see, perceive solution beyond the logic, navigate the system with the supernatural clarity. This is not the Christmas, or it is governments through the revelations. God is merging spiritual discernment, strategy, intelligence. You are the bridge between heaven, the wisdom, and the earthly execution, and the divine visions. You will begin to see that every scare, every trial, every delay was the fragment of your preparations lead nations. Holiness, chosen one, was never meant to separate you from the leadership. It was meant to qualify you. Holiness is not isolations, precisions. Purpose is not about escape. The word about to carry divine qualities into when your heart is pure, your discernment becomes flawless. You can see the corruption, what is not through the bitterness, through the wisdom, heaven teaching its leaders, merging snackification, strategies. Pray like a priest, plan like an architect. You must understand that your moral integrity is your shield in the governments. Without purity, influence becomes the seductions. But when holiness, government, ambitious, authority become the unstoppable altar view, your discernment and the throne test obedience. That is how heaven measures the ruler. Before we continue, let me tell you something important. Everything I'm sharing here is go deeper. Manual God-chosen warrior is clear 10-step guide living the divine. Prosperities. In your finance, link in the description. Pin comment. Profit. Every law, declarations, every policy, decree that either align or rebel against the heaven design when the righteous sit in the power. The nation prosper because the legislative from the revelations, not in past. Remember how Solomon asked not for wealth, virginity, but is understanding the government justly. Prayer become his crown. God seek leader who will ask the wisdom instead of power, to govern under the God command, to discern before the deciding. So wait before the speaking, and seek his voice before seeking the vote. Leader carry the revelation into every decision, transforming the political system into the instrument divine justice. The time for the reintegrations has come for the century. Throne, altar, were divided. Priests pray with the while kings rule. Prophets spoke while the ruler ignored them. Heaven is closing the gap. So, spiritual of the law merges what man divide. The new leader were both intercessor and interventor, both worship and reformer. They will be legislate with the humanities and altar and the authority of the scepter. It's not matter. The government prophecy, you are the one of loads. We will carry both mantras. Your prayer not mean the words. They are blueprint. Every time you intercede heaven, download policy, reform, architect nation, a new generation, prophets, government arising. They do not come to dominate, but to restore. They will enter the institution with a solution, and born in prayer, not a slogan born in the ego. They will speak in the council, parliament, and the ballroom, and the wisdom of heaven. But silence the pride of man, you will not carry religious languages, but the divine strategies. The world will call them reformer. Heaven will call them the ruler. These are the ones who will not bow to the idol popularities of money or fear. They will carry the fear of the law, their constitution's chosen one. You are among them. What is sterling insight? It's not ambitions, it's divine responsibility, awakening. Yet no, this is system, the world with resistant entrance of the righteousness. Darkness does not yield easily. Every time chosen the ruler, opposition gather, you will face the misunderstanding, rejection, and the time isolation. But there is confirmation, not contradictions. Every resistance is proof that you carry the authority, dangerous to the corruptions. Remember that the 摩西带他的使徒走过红海 opposed Pharaoh, Daniel conspirators, Joseph betrayed. So, three become the instrument, divine reform. When the system resists, reveal your significance. You are not the threat because who you are. You are the threat because of what you carry. Heaven establishes government once again between the altar and the throne. When the righteous rule, the people rejoice, becomes the divine order. Many manifested weakest prevail nation now because of darkness the game legal. This is why you cannot retreat into the comfort. Your presence in the system is a form of a prayer. Every righteous decision you make, intersection in action, you will send not just pray for the leader, but become the one and spiritual align your influence, your career, your vision. Everything position is as the vessel of the divine authority. Heaven, agenda, government. You are part of design. The reason this revelation is being released now because the world standard as threshold, the foundation of a nation trembling, the God raising the voice that carry both moral clarity and strategic wisdom. You are not watching history unfold. You are part of prophecy being fulfilled. Every shaking, every exposure of the corruption, every sudden full of the power is heaven cleaning the stage. This is the hour of realignment and the spiritual seeking those who will stand in the gap, not as critic, as builder. You are the one of them. You have been silent long enough. Your throne calling you to rise. The heaven are moving the throne, chosen one. What appears as political turbulence on the earth is divine recording the unseen realm. The power is being shifted quietly. The position being empty and matterless and being reassigned. So heaven council is rearing the nations with divine justice, prepare install the ruler after God own heart. What is the media called instabilities? Heaven called transition. The hand that once had the power without the righteousness is losing their grip, but the divine authority cannot coexist with corruption forever. You must discern this hour the fall of the proud. The proud is not random. The prophet every collapse your witness in the leadership, making the noon with those who carry the heaven mandate. You have been the trained in silence for such time and the chosen for being positioned strategic and not by the chance, by the orchestrations. Every wilderness you endure, every closed door, every disappointment. It was training disguised as the delay. But God was shaping you, character, handle the weight of it without breaking the power, without the pride, influence, without the idolatry. You were never behind the schedule. You were being synchronized at the divine timing. The heavenly hide kings before the reveal, because authority without the material leads the well ruin. So now the hidden years are convertible into the purpose. The same way Joseph moved from the prison to the palace, one divine sequence. Your preparation is about to meet opportunities. When the moment arrives, do not hesitate. The heaven government is waiting for you. Take the seat. It's time for manifestation. What was invincible will now become the undeniable. The call that once whispered in your spirituals will soon echo publicly. You will no longer feel the tension between waiting and walking. Heaven is declaring moment. This is the hour where obscurities and the divine explosion begin. You are stepped into the visibilities, not to seek validation, but to exact assignment, the spiritual. Bring my hidden ruler to the light. You will know them not by the charisma, by the purity, not by the noisy, by the wisdom. The era of the performative leadership is ending. Authentic authority is rising. You are a part of the movement and the chosen vessel. Prepare the governments under divine direction. But before the drawn new leaders, confrontations, ideologies must occur. This war is not between party or personality, it's between principle, truth, and the deception battling for the soul of the nations. Is a war where disgust, immoralities, perverse, and the darkness, tolerance do not deceive. It's the day of the Isaiah. God is raising prophet, challenge, false utter, the power, media, and the culture. You must discern what stands for the righteousness, what the subtotal undermines. The chosen one will not speak from the offense, but from the revelations. Their words will expose system manipulations, restore the qualities to the confused. The generation, you are the one of those boys, alignment, bold, calm, unshakable. The breath of heaven now hovering over the government and its institutions. Law will begin the shift, policy will realign, and the justice nation that once marked righteousness will be the ball to the humanities. This is not a coincidence. It's fulfillment, divine timing. When the spiritual law hover and the being creation is about to being again. So KR, perceive order. You must learn to perceive movement beneath the disorder. The shaking not the destruction, it is divine construction. You are the witness of the birth of the Reformation and the spiritual God breathing upon the Parliament, Congress, economic system, whispering the righteous who sit with them. It's time to stand, you chosen one of those sterling and hidden ruler are hearing in trumpet of the heaven. They were scattered and across the nations, working equally in business, education, and politics, unaware their next promotion will be divine nature. Guys, summon and step forward. Their time shadow have ended, and message come to you is confirmation. You were not forgotten. You were preserved. Every delay was disguised, was protection. The system is about to enter has been the waiting for your obedience, and when step in to do with humanities, also with authority, heaven has already validated you. You are not a prime influence. You are answered summon from the king. The transition from the hiddenness of the visibility is never comfortable. You are with feeling the weight of your new responsibility. Before you feel the celebration of the recognition, the spotlight will reveal your strength. Also test your consistency. Yet fear not. Grace will match your assignment. You have not been prepared to perform. You have been prepared for government, and the favor is coming where not afraid of you. It is for the commission. The God is moving you from the anointment, this authority, from the background to the front line. Reformations, this is the moment. Emergencies to rise without pride, rule without fear. Remember the crown in the service. Your power is obedience. This is spiritual war rages, chosen one, and conflict between the sacred and the secular. Fought not with weapon, with idea. The enemy greatest Deception was convinced the world that faith has no place in the governments. He warned the righteous to believe they must stay silent, live in power through the without divine conscience. But heaven never designed such divisions. The separation of the throne and altar is strategies, darkness, not holiness. When the prophet retreat, tyranny advance, you must now reclaim what belongs to divine order. When the righteousness withdraw, corruption legislate. This is time for the chosen ruler. Step into the arenas once considered forbidden, and declare the kingdom of the God government here. Understand this corruption begin to spiritual invention long before become the political decay. The darkness is infrared system is organized intentionally, and the ancient principalities, the government through the policy influence, culture through the deception disguised the justice. When Daniel prayed, he was confronting the merely man but the princes of the Persia's spiritual power that rule over the nations. The same reality stands today. Every injustice law, oppressive regime, every exploitation of the poor, originally from the spiritual throne of the darkness. This is why your law is indispensable. Your prayer not possible. It's governmental warfare. When you decree truth, throne, lie begin to tremble. Heaven need to intercessor and who legislate. Righteousness with the precision and the faith, prophet and the ruler always face resistance. When the light enter to the power, the darkness react violent, expect oppositions. Chosen one, do not mistake for the defeat. Resistance is proof legitimacy is the system you confront will test you, endurance, your motivate, your humanities. But every time they rise against you, remember the throne of God back you. The same hand shut the mouth of the lion, but Daniel will silence the skin of your enemy. The same voice that the defendants Moses speak for you in the room where your name discussion. The oppositions cannot cancel divine ordination, if only expose who truly carries. The heavenly authority stand for your presence, prophetic protest against the corruption itself. Authority always has price. The crown is not a trophy. If the cross, every chosen ruler must be sacrificed comfort to the calling, applause for alignment. You will have to walk through the misunderstanding, through the loneliness, to the refining fire of the leadership. The throne demands the death of the pride, life of the obedience. Do not fear the cost, its currency of the true dominant. When David refused to take Saul's throne, premature, he preserved destiny. When you choose integrity over ambitions, heaven trusts you with more influence. Remember this truth: God never gives the crown those who seek, only to those who serve faithful until he placed upon their head. Costly throne and falling. Leaders will build their empire on the deception are being exposed. Institution marked righteousness and crumbling and under their own weight. This is not chaos, this is justice. Heaven is reclaiming the seat of the power. Unlawful occupied justice sour crown was removed in silence. 2. So many losing authority in the hour. God is cleansing the system through the exposure. Through the may seems harsh mercy for the innocent have suffered long under the rule of the unrighteous. You are witness divine rearrangement and the vacuum and follow heaven. Its position chosen to rise. Do not misinterpret. Okay, God's silence in this season when heaven is quiet. It is not indifferent, its strategies before. Every transition power, God pause. The silence you feel is steadiness and the divine preparations. This is removing the repressed and rebuilding the dimensions unseen. When salt still rain, David anointing already activated. This is mystery of the divine succession and the replacement begin long before removal. This is visible, and you may not yet hold the title, but the mentally is already resting. So on your shoulder. So silence around is not abandonment, it's collaborations, it's progress. Now the king anointed is secret and begin to manifest. Heaven in the unveiling is hidden ruler. You will recognize them not the wealth or imagines by the presence. They carry peace, cannot be shaken. The wisdom cannot be explained, and the authority cannot be ignored. They were forges prayer and trained through the pain. You are the one of Lamb and the season of the hidden. Refining has ended, and the oil once the floor and the private analysis have seemed public. You are not stepping into the position. You are stepping into the prophecy. The world will soon know that the throne altar will never mean to be apart. Decree has been spoken from the throne and heaven. Altar has the throne and one. There's no division, divine order. Spiritual anointing, priests empower the ruler. The separation sacred. It's a light kept the generation of believer bound to the false humanity. The heaven is breaking the illusions. Now government of the God does not operate apart from the worship is born out. So the time fragment calling has ended. Become the influencer. Prophet must become the policy maker. Worship must become the strategist. You were never meant to serve God only. In prayer, you were meant to legislate. You were in the system. This decree irreversible in heaven, government inventing the earth through the chosen ruler, return divine government. It's another future promise. It's unfolding now. You are the standing in the era. Heaven dominant became to reform the nation through the chosen vessel. Every righteous leader, praised in power, divine design, is part of these reconstructions. The kingdom of the God is not an institution, but its administrations, the system of justice, peace, and government. Divine wisdom is spiritual releasing into the earth, a new pattern leadership, bold, humble, strategies, surrounded. The kingdom does not come through the conquer, through the alignment, through the who align will be entrusted with influence, cannot be shaken. Chosen one, your obedience is your citizenship. The divine government is the model, this is restoration. Always been the King David is both worshipped, warrior, prophet, politician, servant. Sovereign David did not rule apart from the author. It's ruled because it's his reign. He sustained his worship is guided by revelation, and the spiritual of the law rests upon him. Not just the things person and legislate justice, the pattern of the God. Re-established in you leadership following the intimacy. When the heart burns of the God, your policies will reflect heaven. When you worship the pure, your decision establish righteous. The Davidic order is being restored in our time. So you are called to carry the mantle, transfer, authority already in the motion. Heaven in removing the crown from the head or never anoint. Then wear them influence being transferred. Who used manipulation, those who used for ministry, spiritual, orchestras, and promotion, defied logic, reversal no man can stop. The shift not based in the lineage's legacy, but on the royalty of the divine. Purpose humble about government, forgotten about rights. Choose one, your obedience, obscurities has qualified visibilities, and what other achieved by the politics, you will achieve the providence. You are not climbing the ladder, heaven, 11 by your decree. You must understand the kingdom of the God is not a ring. It's a government system, has a law, principle, jurisdiction, decree, shape of the natural world. The church was not meant to be the escape from the world, but headquarter heaven, government on earth. Every belief, an ambassador, every other government officer, when you speak in alignment with God, the word, execution, law in spiritual realm, the government in his name embodied the natural justice, mercy. And two, you are not participating in the political, you are imposing divine order. This is not about a party or ideologies. It's about re-establishment, heaven rule through the chosen vessel. Prophecy's voice is soon echo in place of legislations. Heaven is releasing the messages into the parliament, cabinet, and council. Their words will disrupt corruption. Their presence will expose deceit, or their counsel regard the entire system. You will see and expect alignments and forming the divine orchestrations. And the policies mean by biblical wisdom emerges and expect nations. Spiritual of the law, praising prophecy among the politician, reform among the ruler, priest among the planner. This is not infiltration, it's restoration. The voice of heaven will no longer confined to the pulpit. It was resound the whole of the power. The chosen one as part of perfect invention's righteousness. The spiritual Joseph Daniel being released again. So God is raising the interpreter, mysterious, who bring the divine solution to the human crisis. You will manage economic, navigate diplomacy, lead the nation to the feminine confusion with the supernatural insight. Joseph interpreted, follow, dream, create nations, strategies, so on. So practical revelations translate into the reform. This is your model. Spiritual understanding coming upon, giving this insight beyond education, foresight beyond the experience, favor beyond the status. When heaven speaks, you will know what to do, how to do, and when to move. Your leadership will not just inspire, restructure the system. The spiritual council mind is centered upon the chosen one. This is sense spiritual restored upon the Christ, empowered him rule, righteousness, and the wisdom of the council. Your divine strategies might give the divine strength. One without the other create imbalance. Wisdom without the courage produce hesitation. And the courage without wisdom lead to the destruction. But when both trade within you, your leadership becomes unshakable. Heaven equipped you to see what others ignore, to act when others fear. You are being given the mind of the statement, and the heart of a servant. This dual the mental will cause system to recognize your authority even before they understand your original. You will carry the heaven council into the meeting and you will present shift atmosphere. The government under the divine direction, both prayer and planning, intersection of righteous is birth, righteousness structure. When you pray, you regulate an unseen reality. When you pray, you give those the reality from the heaven. And the earth must cooperate through you. This is why spiritual instant you merge revelations with strategy. You are called to the pray like a Elijah, but the build like a Nehemiah. So the future belongs to those who can translate divine visions into practical policy. You will be voice that merge intersection with executions and others speak idea, but you present blueprint. Who others discuss change, you will be implement. You are not merely a belief. You are architect divine order. You call before it's not individual alone. It's global. It's heaven. It's summon. It's reform. Every nation, tribe, language, company, leader will restore the divine. The justice across all systems. The spiritual law releasing the divine mandate for education, economic, government, and culture. Each chosen one carried the piece of the kingdom reconstruction. You are part of the global movement. You are not the spectator's prophecy. You are built. The world is shifted toward alignment with the heaven constitutions. The nation will feel the weight of the righteousness again. Having sent to ensure the divine order is not just preach, but the legislate. This is your time. Step in, global table, destined, and now heaven call forth an ambassador, a light. And these are not a celebrity or influence. They are custodian in divine purpose. They walk in the humanities. Their word carry the thunder God of God. They will seek influence, not because ambitious, because assignment. Chosen one are among them. This mantle you carry is not for self-promotion, it's for the transformation. You are sent to demonstrate what the government under the God look like. Your life will be modeled, integrate the purity and power, the prayer and policy, devotion and the direction, company and reformer, and the redefine the leadership around the generation, the weary of deception. The light within you is not the ornamental, it's the government heaven released in the culture, not the religion on earth. It's cultural kingdom built of justice, mercy, and truth. The culture shape how systems operate, how leaders decide, how the nation functions. It's not seek the impose. It's not to influence. It's not demand control, but the manifested integrity. You are the carrier of the culture. Every act of the righteousness, every decision made in obedience of the become the invention of the heaven order into earth's affair. The kingdom not come to the noisy as structures. Every just law, every act, compassion, every policy aligned with the divine wisdom. It's the creations, the throne, God, government here. You are the vessel through the British culture, where manifest profit government is the future. The world has exhausted human intellect. It now needs the divine intelligence, crisis, confound, expert opportunity. Those who hear from the God, the nation will not hear through the politics, through the profit administration. Leadership guided the revelation, sustained by the wisdom, executed with the justice. The chosen one were government by the mind of Christ, introducing the solution, outlast idolatry. You must prepare yourself to be among them. It's not a dream, it's divine inevitabilities. Heaven has already released blueprint through who discern early lead the reform divine. The next era humanity, final word of the decree echo through the eternities. The separation ended. Heaven, earth are no longer divided. Spiritual and governments are reconciled. The chosen one now rise as king under the heaven. You who once prayed the changes now become the answer. Those prayer you are being commissions a vessel of divine law, embodiment of the heaven, justice from the day forward. Work with awareness. Every decision you make, sacred. Every action, government. Every word, legislative. You are convergence of the throne and altar. The time for the divisions has ended. The reign of the divine authority whose chosen has begun. So the hour of recognition, the seer, the heaven upon. You are not a spectator in the age of the divine reformation. You are the instrument of the fulfillment, every gift within you. Every lesson, every wound, every painful experience, every victory was prepared for your leadership. You are not echo another generation voice. You are a new frequency, heaven's throne. Your purpose is not to brand with a word, but to reform. You have been chosen not because your perfection, but because your submission heaven. Trust. Those who yield are not those who strive. Step forward. Your ordinations already written in the heaven record. Your mandate to the government holiness, power without the purity become tyranny. Authority born for the holiness transform the nation. Holiness guide you, motivate, shape your word, and preserve your authority from the contaminations. Your investable are more in the arena of influence. You enter the space where compromise is common, integrity is rare. Do not lower your standard. Raising the atmosphere, align divine order. You are walking other wherever you go. Heaven touch the earth. When the government in holiness, your government strength, your righteousness will silence accusation and dismantle to the deception. Remember, the greatest display the power, purity sustained under the preachers Every hidden season had a purpose. Every closed door was divine. Treasures, every delay was the disguised refinement heaven used to obscure to prepare for you. Visibility is your moment of your silence. You were being trained and hear what others cannot. In your moment rejection, you were learning to depend on the God. Validation alone in your trial, you were developing stamina and carry the glory without pride. Your hidden years were not waste. They were sacred. All ye the rest upon you. Forget with those moments. Every scar become the seal of authority. You have graduated from the isolation into the influence. And once wounded, you now witness for you. Now come the moment, spiritual colorations, heaven crowned. Before man confront you, you are being anointing spiritual before being acknowledges the nature. The mystery of divine timing is crowned, appeared secret long before the world see. Do not wait for recognition. Wear your crown in faith. Walk as commissioned. Speak as the one authorized. Lead as ordained. The world may not yet see, but heaven already bowed. Acknowledgement, the crown you carry is not meant for the gold, but assignment, it is shine the obedience, endurance, humility, where is bodily where your heaven ruler in human. From the ambassador, divine government on earth. But remember, every authority carry responsibility. To be trust, influence, to be the burden with the compassion. True power exists to serve, not to dominate. You will be tempted to live from the pride, but heaven requires you to live from the love. You are not sent to rule over the people, but to rule their good, justice, mercy, truth. It must be pillar of your ring. You more power God give you, the more compassion. You must display the leadership under the divine order. It's not a conquest. It's stewardship. The government not by the demanding the allegiance, but is embodied integrity. Your heart remain tender, even as your spiritual grows strong. This is your moment to act. No longer will hide your light, silence your wisdom. Spiritual command moment. Step into the arena and you once feel. Let your voice bring the clarities where the confusions ring. Begin to the work, build, teach, influence. Reform heaven, timing, not approaching. It is now. Prayer must become action. Notice one's faith must become the formations. Spiritual giving you the divine strategies. Follow without hesitation. Gather your courages, chosen one. The nation waiting for your obedience, leadership. It's not for applause. It's for alignment. Go forth, establish in order heaven. Wherever your feet tread, now seal covenants and renew your vowed royalty, kingdom. Send, declare your spiritual. Our government under the God, this is oath. Fidelity not to religions, but to righteousness. The heaven witnessed agreement. Let earth respond to the opportunity from this day. Forward your decision and echo eternities. You are not merely, you are the legislating and aware of the Father through every act of obedience. The oath of the making now becomes your signature, the scroll of destinies. Stand bold. It's no system will overpower you. No darkness will silence you. No throne will intimidate you. You are seated as one who governs under the divine command. The old cycle has ended. The chosen one, the era retreat, confusion, agitation is over. Heaven declared that the time wandering with the past. Now begin the age. Dominant, you have been refined to the fire. So is no power darkness can corrupt you. The things once intimidate you will now recognize your authority. Enter a season where clarity replaces confusion. The divine strategy replaces fear. Do not look back. Wilderness, which is camp. Purpose. You are crossing into the influence strong and once seen. Distant within the reach. Not because you're chest, but because heaven positioned you right now. The old order has collapsed. The new reign has begun within you. Anointing leadership descending upon you. Not emotion, inspiration. It's tangible mental and listen to these words and something within your spiritual being activate, anoint, will cause you think differently, speak with greater authority, see with divine perception, and draw people, resource, opportunity, mission. Heaven trusts you, manage them. The old that prepare in the secret, now calling you into the public purpose. The spiritual say, I have repressed upon you the wisdom, influence, discernment for the government, the courage, confrontation. You are now carrying the same spiritual rest, mercy. When the face followed and on the Esther, when she stood before the king, used to bear, not to boast. This message is not just revelation, a confirmation what your heart suspect. Heaven declared you were chosen to govern the restlessness, the fear, the sense of holy frustration. Frustration is not confusion. God has been stirring your spiritual because the assignment, every unaware Christian about to make sense. Every delay a line. You are not waiting on God. You was aligned time. Unveiling. Message come on the divine seal of the readiness. Heaven say you are prepared, you are equipped, you are sent. Step out now. Let your obedience unlock. So on. You have been anointed to bring the justice, order, restoration on the earth. You desired deeper, equipped, divine jewelry. Remember the manual of God chosen warrior, step by step, equipped, prosperity. It was written a companion and with very assignment, bridge between the revelation and the manifestations. Inside you will find the 10 spirituals, practical steps, activate finance, abundance authorities under the divine law. Get through the link. Description. Use it your freedom manual, divine leadership, heaven equip. This is the manual is one of those tools. Next dimension. Now chosen one, for heaven has commanded you, dominate. The agreement you decree, stand internal. The throne and the altar are one lead. Not as routine, as a prophet, act as alignment, heaven see you. I wear government in holiness like the bead, and anointed rebuild nations in righteous. If this war have your leadership and your legacy and the heaven ambassador of the government. A sound obedience may heaven old. The chosen one. Your mission is political. You must lead the government. You must lead the government under the God command. This is the very moment spiritual recognize signature your destiny. Aligning this word reaches your spiritual. Heaven's scheduled encounter before you were born. The very moment press play, the spirituals recognized signature destiny. Align the word reaches your spirituals. No stumble upon the message you were. Some more the decree you are moment when God interrupt human timeline to deliver the divine instructions. One of them, you stand on the edge. Revelations will awaken the ruler. You will awaken the ruler within the messages that come from the throne itself. The heaven wants to remind you that your mission was never spiritual alone. It was governmental. It's government. You were not called to pray for the sideline, but to legislate from the center of influence, the throne, the altar, the never meant to separate. Today, spiritual will restored, understanding divine power. Decree has been released. The separation between spiritual authority, political leadership has ended the edges. Divided calling is over. Heaven is the summoned hidden ruler.